Hey guys, welcome back to our sketch portion of Beginning Fusion 360. So this is a new drawing that we're going to be messing around with. This is going to be for curves. So this is kind of in a more advanced setup of curves. This is taken from, well, not exactly, but this is based on a recent project that I'm working on with a friend for his business, which is designing a jar for holding different types of food materials. That's just as far as I'll mention with that. So basically, it's pretty complex as far as working with curves. Pretty complex with working with curves and using a lot of tangent constraints and a lot of some cool dimension constraining techniques used here to make sure everything doesn't go really crazy. And you'll see how much fidgeting this takes to get right. And then you'll also be able to experience some things such as like being able to manually adjust points and leaving some things unconstrained so that you can kind of move them around and kind of see what's right. So this guy right here is being, I wouldn't say is perfect. I would definitely, it's not as good as the one that we used for making the jar. So you would fidget around with this quite a bit more to get what you want. And I'm going to show you guys how you can leave some of the dimensions unconstrained to allow for some massaging of these curves to get kind of the look right that you're looking for, right? And that's really what you're looking for here is you want an overall height dimension, which I have here, and then you want an overall diameter dimension on the outside. So for example, from here to the center, and then you would want maybe some sort of delta for the lip stick out, and then also thickness for the jar, right? And then maybe a little curve for the jar on the bottom, so it to make sure that usually, let's say this is a plastic jar, and you'll have a little nub here on the bottom for where you inject it, and so you don't want that nub sticking touching the table, otherwise it won't sit flat. So that's why usually you have a little concave section here on the bottom so that that jar could sit nice and flat on the table and then not have the spruce sitting there. I think it's called a spruce sitting on the table. So what kind of things are we going to be going over here? We're going to be doing a lot of 3-point curves. We're going to be doing some fillets. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of tangent constraints. We're going to be using all kinds of dimension constraints. And then we have an offset here and some other cool dimensioning tricks that I'll show you guys in this one as well. Kind of keep this all looking proportional while you keep some things that you want to be the same size while you can massage some other things so that you get the right look that you're looking for while you're massaging it, and then you can lock in that dimension by adding a dimension constraint to it, and then now that part is locked in, and then you can massage another point and get that to look how you want it to look, and then lock that in. And then I'll show you guys some of the key points to doing these kind of more curvier models. And the reason why you would do something like this, if you notice that this guy is only half, so you see I have a vertical line here down the middle, and then it's only on one side, is that this would be later used on a revolve tool to basically rotate it around, right, and then create a solid object. So when you do the revolve feature, which I'm going to talk about in the 3D feature portion of this course, you only have to do one side. And then you do the revolve axis, which is this line that I drew, which is coming out of the origin, and then it will sweep this around 360 and then create the jar. So I only need one side, and it'll create a symmetrical on both sides, so I don't have to worry about that. So that's why we're designing it only on one side, and it's a waste of time to design it on both sides. But if you want, you can mirror it just to see kind of what's going on both sides. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start the very first lecture, and we're going to go over kind of how to build this guy. I have my image ready to go, and so we're going to step through this. All right, let's go ahead and get started for this drawing, which I'm calling the jar sketch example or sketch project. All right, let's go ahead and get started.